Formula One racing is one of the most exhilarating and intense sports in the world. With cars capable of reaching speeds of over 200 miles per hour and drivers pushing themselves to the limit to outpace their competitors, it's no wonder that F1 has gained a reputation as one of the most physically demanding sports. So stay tuned as we dive into the grueling physical demands of F1 drivers and uncover what it takes to excel in this high-speed sport. Now, Formula One racing is not just a sport. It's a death-defying feat of physical and mental endurance that pushes the limits of what humans are capable of. Despite what some may think, F1 drivers are true athletes in every sense of the word. They must have the finely tuned motor skills necessary to control their car with split-second precision, but that's just the beginning. So let's take a look at some of these physical demands in detail. Extreme G-force. Formula One racing is not for the faint of heart, and the high G-force that drivers experience during a race are enough to make even the bravest souls weak in the knees. It's not just the speed that's the challenge, it's the force of the acceleration that puts an immense strain on a driver's neck and core muscles. When a driver hits a corner, sometimes at high speeds or under rapid deceleration, the G-force on the neck and head can be anything up to 5G. Imagine hurtling around a corner at over 200 miles per hour, feeling as though your body weighs almost 5 times more than it actually does. That's insane. To cope with these extreme conditions, F1 drivers undergo grueling training regimes that focus on building neck and core strength. It's not just a matter of hitting the gym a few times a week. These drivers use specialized equipment to simulate the lateral G-forces they experience during a race. Drivers adopt a form of training called isometrics, where the muscles are working against a resistance but do not change length. Imagine trying to push as hard as you can against a wall. The wall doesn't move, but you feel the muscles working. This is an isometric exercise. To develop their neck muscles, F1 drivers can use resistant bands similar to those found in the gym. These bands are attached to their heads or helmets, which are weights added to them. The drivers then work to keep their heads fixed while resisting the pull, which in turn helps strengthen their neck and upper back muscles. But it's not just the neck muscles that need attention. F1 drivers also need to work on their core strength to maintain their body position in the cockpit during those hair-raising turns. This entails performing traditional strength training exercises, such as sit-ups and crunches, as well as incorporating isometric exercises to maintain the engagement of those core muscles. In addition, there is more to the training regime of an F1 driver. Their personal trainers often analyze the track in great detail and design a training program that emulates the precise corner sequences of the race. By doing so, the drivers can adequately prepare their muscles for the specific twists and turns of the upcoming event. Extreme temperatures. F1 racing isn't just about speed and agility, it's also about endurance, especially when it comes to withstanding the extreme temperatures inside the car. Did you know that the temperature inside an F1 car can reach up to 60 degrees centigrade during a race? That's hotter than most saunas and can put a tremendous strain on a driver's physical and mental well-being. The heat generated by the engine, brakes and tyres creates a perfect storm for dehydration, heat stroke and fatigue. To make matters worse, the drivers wear multiple layers of fire-resistant clothing, gloves and a helmet that can trap heat and make it even harder to regulate their body temperature. To prepare for these extreme conditions, F1 drivers undergo specific training and preparation to help them stay cool, hydrated and focused during a race. They work closely with their team's nutritionists to develop a hydration and nutrition plan that ensures they're fueling their body properly before the race. This includes drinking lots of fluids, eating healthy foods and consuming electrolyte-rich drinks to help replace lost nutrients and fluids. F1 drivers also use cooling systems in their cars to help regulate their body temperature. They have special vents and air conditioning systems that pump cool air into the cockpit to help keep the drivers cool and comfortable during the race. But even with all these, F1 drivers must remain mentally focused and physically fit to endure the extreme temperatures of an F1 race. Perhaps the most notable one is the fact that during a race, a driver can lose several kilograms in weight just from sweating. The exact amount varies from race to race, but it's usually at least 2 or 3 kilos. Just a few decades ago, drivers would faint or be so weak that they couldn't climb out of their cars. While they're fitter today, modern drivers are still put under these same pressures. It takes a special kind of athlete to push themselves to the limit under such grueling conditions, and that's what makes F1 racing so exciting and awe-inspiring to watch. Quick reflexes. Now, one of the essential skills a driver needs is quick reflexes. F1 drivers need to react quickly to changing conditions on the track, including sudden turns, passing opportunities, and other unexpected obstacles. In fact, a driver's reaction time can mean the difference between winning and losing a race. Now, to give you an idea of just how quick a driver's reflexes need to be, consider this. During an F1 race, a driver will typically make more than 4,000 gear changes and over 2,500 steering adjustments. That's an incredible amount of split-second decisions that need to be made in a high-pressure environment. To develop these quick reflexes, F1 drivers undergo extensive training that includes hand-eye coordination exercises, reaction time drills, and other exercises that help improve their reflexes. They also practice on the track, where they face different scenarios and learn to react quickly to various situations. F1 drivers also need to have excellent hand-eye coordination, which is essential for precise steering, gear changes, and other maneuvers. To develop this skill, drivers use simulators that mimic the conditions of an actual F1 race, allowing them to practice their driving skills in a controlled environment. It takes years of training, practice, and experience to develop the lightning-fast reflexes and hand-eye coordination needed to navigate an F1 car around the track. But for those who have what it takes, the thrill of racing at speeds of up to 350 km per hour is a feeling like no other. To maintain these quick reflexes, F1 drivers specifically train their hands and feet. When you think of F1 drivers, you may picture them with sleek, toned arms that are ready to take on the high speeds and quick turns of a race. But what you may not know is that these drivers need to find the perfect balance between muscle strength and size. In order to stay quick and nimble in the cockpit, drivers need to have strong arm muscles that can withstand the intense physical demands of a race. But at the same time, they can't afford to have bulky arm muscles that will slow them down or add extra weight to the car. So how do F1 drivers build the perfect arm muscles? Well, it takes a lot of targeted training and precision. For instance, former F1 driver Heikki Kovalainen used a unique technique during his training. He balances on a gym ball and holds out a 3-kilogram weight in front of him as if it were a steering wheel. His personal trainer then directs him to turn the wheel left, right, or return to center, building muscle strength and reaction time under pressure. But that's not all. F1 drivers purposely build up lactic acid in their muscles to help strengthen them to the level required during a race. And while us mere mortals may cramp up and cry for mercy, these drivers are able to push through the pain and keep going. So the next time you watch an F1 race, take a moment to appreciate the strength and precision that goes into the driver's arms and how it plays a crucial role in their ability to perform at the highest level. Now, let's talk about F1 drivers' feet. Formula 1 drivers need to generate 80 kilograms of downward pressure on the brake pedal just to get this beast to slow. So how do these drivers prepare their legs for this kind of Herculean feat? They don't need legs the size of tree trunks, but they do need them to be strong and ready for the onslaught of lactic acid that will inevitably build up. To train, a driver might use a press machine with 90 kilograms of weight. Their personal trainer will instruct them to quickly press down and then release, keeping the weights elevated off the base. This kind of training will not only increase leg strength, but also help the driver contend with the lactic acid buildup that can threaten to cramp their legs. But don't be fooled into thinking this is just a walk in the park. The brake pedal in an F1 car is not like the one in your average sedan. It's stiff and requires a full extended leg to press down. So the next time you're carrying a heavy load and your leg muscles are screaming in protest, just remember that F1 drivers do this kind of thing for fun and a whole lot of money. Now, apart from these physical demands, F1 drivers go through intense mental needs. Before the race, the driver enters a state of complete focus that could make a Buddhist monk jealous. They mentally rehearse every single corner, turn and apex in their minds to prepare for the perfect start and the perfect lap. It's like they're running through the circuit on a mental treadmill. Some drivers use breathing techniques to calm their minds and prepare for the inevitable adrenaline rush. They know that the slightest distraction could lead to disaster, so they must be mentally ready for anything that comes their way. Now, once the race begins, it's like a symphony of chaos in the cockpit. The driver has to be in tune with everything that's going on around him. He has the digital displays on his wheel showing everything he needs to see from the cockpit. He has the guy in front, the guy behind. He's thinking about racing lines, braking points, apexes, and acceleration points on the track. He's thinking strategy. He's thinking about his rival's strategy. He has his team in his ears, constantly relaying times, positions, strategies, speeds, sector times, and instructions. And all of this is happening at 200 miles per hour in sweltering temperatures. It's a test of mental and physical endurance, and only the strongest and most disciplined drivers can survive the race without losing their minds. Now you know what it takes for an F1 driver to conquer the racetrack, a whole lot more than just getting behind the wheel and revving the engine. These drivers are not just mere operators of high-performance machines, but top-level athletes who go through rigorous physical and mental training to perform at their best on race day. So let's give these drivers the respect and admiration they deserve for their dedication, skill, and sheer bravery in taking on one of the world's most challenging sports. Without them, we wouldn't have the exhilarating, heart-pumping spectacle that is Formula One. So, what's your thoughts about the physical demands of F1 drivers? Let us know in the comments section down below.